All right, what is going on? I have a really special live today. I am going to be sharing my framework, the body rebuild system framework, on how exactly it is that people move through it and how you can get out of back pain on your own and what you should be looking for. I think a lot of times people don't know what they should be looking for, and that's going to be a critical thing of what we discussed today, is really getting a sense of what you should be looking for and why it's important that you're actually following a process, not just throwing things at the wall. I see people all the time when I'm talking to people, hey, you know what? I'm trying this, I'm trying that, trying all sorts of things. And nothing seems to be working because they're going in all different directions. And when you're going in all different directions, of course, nothing is going to work because you're not actually focusing your effort on actually moving down a path of recovery. And that's like just a common theme that I see all the time, is people aren't moving down a path to recovery because they're just trying all sorts of different things. Okay. So today I want to discuss and share my pain free pyramid and how you can get to the top. And most importantly, I really want to share the first phase, because each of these phases, although this looks simple, has a very detailed order of things. Right. And so I'm going to show you exactly the things that you should be working on and the types of outcomes you should be getting along the journey. So, first thing we're going to do is we're going to overview the entirety of the pyramid. And so you have an idea of what the outcomes are that you should be seeking out. Okay. So, first and foremost, when we're thinking about this, we want to be developing awareness of our body, awareness of our pain triggers, awareness of what movements and exercises and training we should and shouldn't be doing. And through that, building that awareness, we get understanding, we take action, we build a foundation. And through that, we actually progress, we transform, we get to empowerment. Okay. And so, briefly, I'm going to go over the levels, the four levels of recovery and what you should be looking for. And then we're going to dig into level one, which is by far the most important one, because if you can't move from level one to level two, three, and four, well, I mean, you're just never starting, right? You're just going in all different directions. So, starting here, level one, awareness and stability. This is foundations. This is building the foundation. And so, it's all about building the foundation for pain free training, understanding pain triggers, establishing a level of stabilization. When I say stabilization, what I mean very particularly is not only in your pain triggers, but in your body as well. And this is so important, right? Because if we don't have a level of stabilization, we're not going to be able to have success. Okay, so that's so important. I'm just going to make this a little smaller. So there we go. And so this is so important when we're thinking about solving this problem for the long term, right? Like, what do we actually need to do to get out of this, right? So again, foundation for free training, understanding pain triggers is a game changer. We'll talk about that in a second. Establishing that level of stabilization and creating and developing and fine tuning the mind body connection. Okay. And I'll talk about that in a sec. So we're going to dig into level one, but just so you have a full view of what exactly all the levels are. Next level, level two, is safe movement and strength. So this is about progressing. Okay. And so what should you be looking for at this level? Well, the plan that you're following, it should start to show you that you're developing functional strength. So like, let's say you have difficulty bending down to put on your socks, or you have difficulty walking. All right. Oh, if I can't walk, well, that's those functional strengths, functional mobility, stuff that's been taken away. Okay. If you're having pain flare ups, those should be reducing or going away altogether. And then you're just building confidence in daily activities, right? Things that you're doing all the time that are just causing you pain. You're starting to be able to do those things now without pain. Okay. Next step is alignment and functionality. And this is the idea that you want to be able to perform functional movements pain free while reinforcing mobility, posture, and strength. Okay. Again, now this is where you're getting into actually training, being more mobile and strong, and like doing things that people would say, maybe you're getting back to the gym or doing things like that, right? So this is that step where you're taking that next step forward in the journey. Okay. And last one is about sustainability and resilience. And this is where, you've learned how to incorporate everything you've learned up to this point. You've built a bunch of momentum. All this stuff underneath is coming true, and you're getting back to engaging in the things that you love. Okay. So I wanted to share that overview. But what I really want to do is dig into, what does phase one awareness and stability look like? Right? What does that look like? So told you identifying pain triggers is going to be big. That's going to be a key part of this whole solution, right? And so, to identify pain triggers, you have to be able to have assessed them, right? So, doing some form of movement assessment. If you want my movement assessment, it's on my YouTube channel. If you're watching on Instagram right now, just shoot me a DM, type in movement. I will send you the full movement assessment, and it explains to you the movements you do to identify your pain triggers, and it's going to explain what you need to do instead. Okay, if it causes pain, then what you should do. So shoot me a message, I'll send that over to you. You need to do spine hygiene practices, right? These are things that spare your spine and make it so that you're not constantly in pain. And then doing a lifestyle audit is identifying all the things that are causing your pain. Okay. And these things are accelerators in your program, or I should say in your journey, that you should have in your program to actually help you move forward. Okay. So, you know, this is super, super important here. Is starting off with spine hygiene. So I want to dig into what that is. Okay. So the three parts of spine hygiene here. Number one, protect your spine in everyday movement. So spine hygiene is about protecting your spine through posture, through awareness, ergonomic adjustments, daily habits, incorporating small actionable techniques like maintaining a neutral spine and practicing proper lifting, and taking movement breaks to prevent that strain and support long-term back health, right? This is part of a long-term process. The next big thing is identifying and modifying pain triggers. So, like, if you don't know what causes pain, or if you're not identifying it and remembering it, you're just going to keep making that mistake. So, writing down activities, postures that aggravate your pain, begin modifying these behaviors to stop, quote unquote, picking the scab. So, like, you have a scab and you're picking it all the time. So, for example, practicing something called the golfer's pickup when lifting. It's where anyone who golfs knows this, but you go on one foot and you bend over. That'll take strain off your back. If you're someone who sits all day, adjusting your workstation for better ergonomics is going to be super big. Sleeping position, things like that, right? So this is really, really important. Experiment with spine-friendly habits. So, every adjustment you can think of to reduce strain, everything is so, so important. Don't filter through thoughts, brainstorm free, identify what you think causes pain, right, in your day, and then experiment, right? Like, so, for example, just because someone says, hey, you should use a lumbar support. If you use a lumbar support and the lumbar support causes you pain, you have to modify and change. You can't just like, hey, I'm supposed to be using this. If it's causing you pain, you got to back off. Okay. So very, very important. Okay. So again, that's spine hygiene. Next thing, mind body connection. This is awareness of your triggers. All right. So big thing, build awareness of pain triggers, right? It's so important how, like, you need to explore your body response to different movements, stressors, begin tracking to better understand your back pain and how to manage it effectively. Your body is always talking, and it's your job to listen to it. And I think this is important because a lot of people think that they have to do more and they got to like do the right training. Oh, I need the next stretch. I need the next this. That's not going to get you out of this problem. I promise you that. So if you understand why you're actually having pain and you stop that from happening, you'll likely get out of the pain, right? And then you can think about building up strength. So write down your daily pain levels, activities that cause discomfort, and what helps relieve it. And this log is going to, help you make adjustments so that you can actually get back to training. But the thing is sometimes the training you're doing is actually causing it, and you're not listening. right? So don't ignore tightness or little bits of pain that creep up. They are a signal at the end of the day, okay? And then observe without judgment. So, you might be sitting, or you might have had like times in the past where you weren't you thought about something that's like you're like, oh, my back's tight, and then you start worrying, right? I guess that's the big thing here. We don't want to worry. We just want to observe, just observe. And like you see, like, oh man, I'm feeling a little bit of tightness there, then you can get up and move around, take note of that, right? um, really, if you take note of the sensation and modify behavior, like, we don't want to worry. That's the big thing, right? We want to um, just make a modification. That's it. Like, oh, I got to shift. I got to go for a break. I got to go for a walk. I got to move my body. Sometimes that's all it is. I got to modify the movement. Okay. So this is really important because like I said, like, your body is constantly giving you signals, and, pain, discomfort, tension. It's about moving. It's about listening, right? So you want to build a strong mind body connection. It helps you recognize these signals and respond appropriately, and by identifying triggers and tracking patterns, you gain the awareness needed to make meaningful changes in your daily habits. So then, at the end of the day, you're going to reduce pain and prevent further injury. Okay. Now, this is the movement protocol. So my movement protocol, when people start out with me, is called the back defender. Okay, so the back defender, you may have your own movement protocol if you're you're looking online at something. Just make sure that when you are doing these things, you want them to focus on the following things. Okay, number one, you want focus on controlled pain-free progression. So you can push to the edge of discomfort, but never work through or push through where you blast through the pain just because, oh, I can do this. It's easy, right? If you do that, it prevents your body from pain prevents your body. Sorry, not pushing through pain prevents your body from pushing the pain cycle. So the pain arises during or after a workout. You want to scale back reps, scale back sets, intensity, range of motion. There's a lot of things you can do, but the goal is to build capacity over time while feeling better after each session, not worse. So you got to drop the strength training mentality with this, because if you have that strength training mentality, you're always going to be focused on trying to build strength rather than listening to your body and lowering your pain sensitivity. Okay. um, Pain often stems from a disconnect of your core and glutes. Back pain does, sorry. So your spine is unsupported, it's moving too much is a lot of the case here, right? And so you want a program that teaches proper muscle activation and sequencing, and it stabilizes the lower lumbar spine first and foremost, rather than having it hypermobile. So things like bird dog, glute bridge, side plank are great because they're movements and exercises that retrain your body to stabilize the spine. And we want to ensure that your core and glutes work together during this activity, during daily tasks, I should say, lifting, walking, sitting, etc. So focus on avoiding excess movement in your lower lumbar is very important in the journey to relearning how to move your body, because a lot of times people just move at their lower lumbar, like, too much, and that causes a lot of issues. So the program should teach you how to stabilize there, right? You want to be able to move your hips without having to move your lower back, right? It's not that you shouldn't be able to, but it's likely causing you and keeping you stuck in that pain cycle. So progress by listening to your body, not pushing through pain. So the program that you do, you should apply this concept. So chronic pain often traps people in that cycle of pushing through discomfort, hoping it will all lead to strength and relief. In reality, this can reinforce pain and prevent true recovery. So, the Back Defender program progression is about listening to your body and respecting its limits. If an exercise causes pain, it's a signal to adjust, reduce intensity, modify the movement, or stay at your current level. Progress happens when you could perform a movement with control, stability, and no pain. And by focusing on quality, not quantity, you'll build strength and resilience without feeling the pain cycle. Now, this is the biggest idea here. And this is why, like, if you're doing some other like workout training protocol, you can apply this principle to it. Now, it doesn't have to be these super regressed movements. You say, hey, maybe I want a deadlift. Cool. Well, build up stability in your lower lumbar spine. Make sure you're not having excessive movement. Make sure you shrink the range of motion. Make sure you go low enough weight that you don't feel pain during it. You don't feel pain after it. And when I say pain, I mean that chronic pain flares up, right? I don't mean like muscular pain. Okay. So each step builds on the last. Okay. And this is really good. Um, you know, you want to create a continuous cycle of improvement and just ensure sustainability progress towards pain-free training. Okay. All right. Next thing here is MFR protocol. MFR protocol is myofascial release. And so the idea here is you want to relieve tension, improve mobility. It targets tight, overactive muscles, and that contributes to pain and restrictive movement. By using tools like a foam roller or a massage ball, you release tension, improve blood flow, and restore your body's natural range of motion. Right, by following that up with movements. So you want to focus on key areas of tension. Um, oh, sorry. Before I go any further, if you want the Back Defender program, let me know. Just send me a DM. It's a free resource on my YouTube channel, so you can send me a DM and I will send it over to you. Okay. Okay. Back to this though, we want to find key areas of tension, hips, lower back, glutes, and when you feel a trigger point, apply those MFR techniques to areas. Gentle, sustained pressure is a key. We don't want to like increase pain. A lot of times when you're super sensitive, when you do this, it actually increases the pain. So just go with caution. And then you want to integrate this into your routine. So incorporate into your daily routine, weekly routine for long-term benefits. Spend 1 to 2 minutes on each area, focusing on slow, controlled movements, or just sit there and breathe and just let the body relax. Right. This protocol works is great before workouts to improve blood flow and help the body adapt, especially because when it's really tight and you just don't feel comfortable moving. Okay. Next thing here is glute core connection. So I realistically with this, a lot of times all this really comes down to is that people struggle using their hips properly, really, and they struggle bracing their core properly, right? And so developing that connection between glutes and core, and understanding that your glutes are part of that core area, the core movement. So if you're able to connect this in real movement and build up a nice brace, you'll find that you'll able to actually practice spine hygiene. Because if you know how to brace your core and use your glutes to bend forward, right? To hip hinge, for example, bend down to pick things up, and use your glutes properly to support yourself, right? It's part of this support mechanism. It's going to spare your spine. And as a result of that, you're going to be able to move more, and you're going to start to develop this full body integration. And this is when this protocol that I have here, we actually use breathing to different breathing techniques to encourage a full brace, diaphragmatic breathing, and this brings everything together. And then really the whole goal of this is to make it so that when you go forward to like bend forward, for example, not only do your glutes activate, but your core braces. And we can actually make this an automatic system. And that's the goal with these protocols. Again, I'll send this protocol to you if you're watching. Just send me a message and I'll send it to you. Okay. So this is level 1. This is phase 1, awareness and stability. And this is the first phase of the body rebuild system. And it's a circular phase that you just keep doing until you start feeling good, until you start moving from level 1 and you start to see that, hey, all these things are happening, they're all taking place. Well, I feel like I'm developing functional strength and mobility. Well, now you've progressed to level 2, and level 2 will have some of the same things from level 1 will remain, but there'll be some new protocols and some new things that you start to do to progress. Okay. So I hope that was helpful. So if you're looking at a program right now and you're looking for something that's actually helping you, or you're wondering, is the program that I'm doing actually helping me? Well, I hope that this is at least a guideline for you to say, am I doing the right things? Right. And again, if you want any of these here if you want the spine hygiene protocol. If you want some meditation that I do, the back defender talks about building mind body, the MFR protocol, or the glute core activation, just send me a DM or a comment on this video and I will send you the links for that. Okay. All right, that is all that I have for today. I hope that this was valuable to you. And, if you have any questions, shoot me a direct message and I will do my best to help if I can. All right, I'm out.